Hey, thanks for joining me here at 11:15. Today I really felt compelled to look into this card, the Transform card. Now, I don't know of the people out there who might watch this, who might also watch other readers, who might also follow some astrology, but right now, I don't want to leave anyone feeling like, oh, I don't understand what this means, so I'm not going to follow along. So let me preface this by saying if there's anything that you don't understand, there are plenty of resources online you can Google and do some research. You can even go to different readers' YouTube channels, and there's astrology stuff all over the place. But this year specifically, I'm going to keep this as simple as I can possibly. There are a lot of changes for everyone. There's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of, most basically, the simplest way I could put it is that everything prior to now was a lesson, and now we get to apply it. So, with that being said, I wanted to do a reading for everyone based on transformation and what advice can be offered to you to help you in your transformation. All right? So, with that being said, we're going to start with Aries, okay? So, what advice do you have for Aries for their transformation? Giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, charity, and sharing. You may have had issues with this before. You may have been in a situation before where, you found yourself in a spot where you wanted to be kind, and you were kind, and you were taken advantage of. So now you may feel a little guarded against that. But what I really feel is, knowing who and when to give freely to is going to be very important, because you very well may have... See, I look at life like it's lessons and tests and rewards, and punishments. Negative self-talk, releasing pain, forgiveness, optimism, recovery, and moving on. Yeah, definitely looking into ways to fight that negative self-talk. I love to use the fight it method. So anytime I realize I'm having a negative thought, I counteract it with something good. Now, that takes time, but over time, this has been scientifically proven too. You can start to change the neural pathways in your brain and create new connections. So your brain ends up being less likely to go to those negative thoughts, and it's more likely to just automatically snap into a counteractive mode where it goes, well, we know that's just our anxiety. We know that's not true. We know that's PTSD, blah, 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 whatever it may be for you. Do we have any other advice for Aries on their transformation? Any other helpful advice for their transformation? multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, and balancing decisions. So maybe taking a closer look at what matters the most and what deserves your time and attention. Maybe reevaluating the things that have your attention in your life and, you know, just sitting down and getting really serious about it. You know, perhaps like a lot of people, maybe you spend too much time, you know, on the phone, just bebopping around, or, you know, maybe you just date around a lot. Maybe it's time to get a little more serious in trying to find your person. You know, perhaps you spend a lot of time hanging out on the couch watching TV. You know, that's up to you. You know, we all have the same 24 hours. It depends on how you want to use it. You know, what's most important to you? What could you be dedicating more time to? I think I missed a word in there. What could you be dedicating more time to make you more happy? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to transform into? Because this is all up to you. The little decisions that you make today will make you a better person tomorrow. Now, realistically, it'll probably take about, what is it they say? I think they say it takes like 3 weeks for a habit to turn into a new behavior. Do we have any other advice for Aries on their transformation? Anything else? Well, I think that sounds absolutely lovely, and I think that's a good set of advice and a good springboard for you. I'm going to leave you with that, Aries, and we're going to move on to Taurus. But before we do, please be mindful that you have many placements in your chart. So I do want to tell you, anytime you're watching any tarot, take the other placements in your chart into consideration and watch for them as well for a clearer picture. Okay? All right, Taurus. I didn't want to move that card. And you know, that could be meaningful for you. There may be some things that you don't want to change, even though you know you have to. What advice do we have for Taurus in their transformation? What advice do we have for Taurus in their transformation? These cards, interesting the way they're handling. Anyway, preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, overseas opportunities. Preparing for shit to get real is what it looks like. Interesting. Bad luck, no control, resistance to change, breaking cycles, and negative phase. You may be... I mean, let me get some clarification before I give you the lowdown on this. Any clarification on the negative phase? Dark side of wealth, financial failure or loss, fleeting success, lack of stability, lack of resources. Anything else for Taurus's transformation? Competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreement, strife, and tension. So, this is some very interesting energy here. I'm not in love with it, obviously. But you could be being called to prepare for a time that might not be too enjoyable, depending on the way you look at it. Going back here, though, being prepared for progress, perhaps in business or career, being prepared for these situations, being prepared to deal with the stress of it all, knowing how to stay calm and collected and relaxed in the face of adversity. That will be your next lesson. That resistance to change. Things are going to change. I feel like you're looking at rapid changes here. And letting go of, this could be letting go of a previous negative phase. It could be letting go of a time when you had no control. It could also be just changing your mindset from a lack mindset to being more positive and more just knowing that things are going to go correctly for you. It's just, if I could just tell the world to read that book, The Secret, like, it blew my mind. And I'll tell you, like, just changing the way you think, even on some small stuff, like, it's really wild how it works. I will say, if you find your situation dipping into trials and tribulations mode, like, definitely give that book a look. Maybe listen to it or read it 3 or 4 times because I think it's one of the most amazing quote unquote secrets that has ever been. It's just wild stuff. And the competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreement, strife, and tension. Now, this could be upcoming things that you're going to need to prepare for, you're going to need to be ready for, or it could be things that you need to let go of that mindset because you're no longer there. Okay? It's just like last night, I found this YouTube video. It was this great firsthand story of this woman who had been in an abusive marriage, and she had left 19 years ago, and she wrote a book about her experiences. And what she said was she had friends who had also left years ago, and they still acted as if they were in those abusive relationships. So their mindset was still there. They were still acting out of trauma response. So I think, though this looks ominous, I don't think it is. I think it's more about, you know, getting out of that lack mindset, getting out of that trauma response mode. Can we get clarification on this? Clarification for Taurus? It's too much clarification. I just had a thought, is there ever such a thing? All right, touche. Hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, and responsibility. Unfairness, lack of accountability, guilt, dishonesty, and punishment. Overly emotional, easily influenced, bitchy, cold-hearted, cruel, and bitterness. Personal transformation, fear of change, averting delayed disaster, suffering, collapse, stormy time, restlessness. Illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, premonitions. These are all things that you need to adjust your mindset away from. Yeah. Now, you could take this, that terrible, horrible things are coming your way. That's just not how I'm seeing it. Self-development, perfectionism, misdirected activity, no passion, uninspired, no motivation. So I think therein lies the key. You know, doing the work, doing the shadow work, responding to new yet similar situations in new ways, not applying I'm not saying be a Pollyanna and forget everything that you've learned. I'm saying use your best judgment. I'm saying don't place blame and take out your hurts on someone who never hurt you. Can I get anything further on this? Anything else to assist Taurus in their transformation? Anything else? I think that really covers it, but quiet power. Excuse me, lighting. Inner truth. Callous, weakness, loss of emotional control, manipulation, misuse of power. Yeah, we definitely want to be careful of that. I think you're stepping into a new time where you're being requested to really step into your power, but to be careful, be discerning, be sure that you're not taking when you may find yourself in a situation that is reminiscent of something that may have happened to you in the past, and it was a negative, don't rush to judge the person or the situation at hand. Don't only look at it through the glasses of your past. Our past experiences color our thoughts and emotions on current situations. So I think what you're really being asked to do here is to, of course, don't forget your past entirely. There are a lot of lessons, really amazing things you've learned, I'm certain, over the course of your history. But at the same time, I think you're being requested to A, stand in your power, realize how powerful you are, and how deserving you are of all the good things in this life. And to also take off those glasses, make sure that you're getting a clear picture of what is actually happening and not placing undue blame and not just making assumptions that, oh, this is exactly like this other thing. All right, I think that wraps up Taurus. So let us move on to Gemini. All right. What do we have for Gemini? Their transformation. Inspiration, ideas, discovery. Excuse me. Focus, focus, focus. That could be important. Limitless potential, free spirit, exploration, excitement, and freedom. Anything else for Gemini and their advice for transformation? Lack of motivation. Yeah, that's where the focus comes in, right? Lack of energy, lack of passion, weighed down, boredom. Yeah, getting focused on what it is you want for you in the next phase of your life is going to be very important. Mental clarity, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind, new conflict, surgery. Interesting. Delays, frustration, holding off, waiting, panic, and slow down. Man, that focus, focus, focus really, yeah. I think that's really, the general message here. Getting your focus together. Working on being your biggest fan and not your worst enemy. Working on streamlining your daily life, your goals, your aspirations, the changes that you want to make. And working on realistic ways to achieve them seems to be very important. Do I have anything further for Gemini and advice for their transformation? You know, I really wanted to focus on this deck, but it just feels... Anything else for Gemini and advice for their transformation? Thank you. Sorrow. Past lives. I want to look back at this. Perhaps it's going to take quite some time for you to get to the beginning, or what feels like the beginning of this transformation. Perhaps the portion of your life that you're in now is going to feel like a past life. It seems like it's going to be a lot to leave behind, but you know you have to. It just seems like it's going to take a lot of planning. Intensity. Yeah. Preparing for that. It's going to be a major emotional upheaval, it looks like. It's going to be scattered and confusing. But you will eventually get to the point where you're having the celebration over your hard work, for sure. You'll be glad to be here. Yeah, this is definitely the direction that you're meant to go. Possibilities. You may feel like none of this is possible. Probably. Slowing down, it seems like that's where you are right now, and you're being called to step into your power at this time. Like I said, you need to work on being your biggest fan, no longer your biggest critic, and realize you have the power to transform anything. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand, there are circumstances outside of our control in this life, but there are certainly, at the same time, circumstances plenty within our control. So that's everything in your head. You have dominion over that. And it's just like they say, when other people hurt us, yeah, we could say that they hurt us. But looking at why it was that we took the thing the way that we did, and didn't realize in the moment that it was a projection of them, and it wasn't necessarily anything to do with us. If you think things through in a different way, you'll realize that people don't have power over your mind. It's you. You can give them that power, but you don't have to. Do we have any further advice for Gemini's transformation? Rebirth. Yeah, you're definitely being called to come out of a comfort zone in a real big way here. It may take you a hot minute to get out of this, I want to say this old pattern. But I think when you look back, you're going to realize that you are a whole different person. Not only that, but you're the person that you always thought it was impossible for you to be. That's really amazing. I hope that you're ready to do the work, because it looks like I said, focus, focus, focus. It's going to be very necessary. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave you with that, and we're going to move on to Cancer. All right, Cancer. Hey. Thanks for joining me here at 11:15. I appreciate your time. Sorry, I had to get a swig of that coffee in. All right. Can I get some advice for Cancer and their transformation? Advice for Cancer and their transformation. Self-discipline, opposition, lack of direction, lack of control, aggression, arrogance, and carelessness. Well, that's a laundry list of shit to work on if I've ever seen it. And I'll tell you what, it all starts with that self-discipline. It all starts with the self-discipline. For sure. We also have energy, passionate, inspired, action, adventure, fearless, impulsiveness. You may find you've been, acting impulsively in too many areas, and you may need to redirect that energy into some self-discipline and direction for yourself. We also have exhaustion, giving up, destroyed confidence, overwhelmed, overly protective. There's mention of opposition here too, and aggression and arrogance. Yeah, it's funny when people act aggressive and arrogant, it is typically due to lack of control. It seems like you have a lot of fiery energy here. You could have a lot of fire in your chart, or you just could be a fiery personality. Or, maybe you're tired of taking everybody else's shit. But there are better ways to direct this energy here. We also have planning, progress, making decisions, discovery, leaving home, and travel plans. Interesting. Do I have anything else? Any further advice for Cancer and their transformation? Any further? Shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. There are a lot of things for you to look at here. Broadly, I think looking into doing your shadow work right now could be extremely beneficial for you. And maybe you have been for quite some time, but there's definitely a call for taking that control that you're trying to put outward. There's a call to direct that toward yourself. It's like they say, the only thing you can control is yourself. And I think maybe that is possibly something that you could stand to focus a bit more on. Just self-control over attempting to control others. Why did I glance that? Domineering, controlling, lack of discipline, rigid, stubborn, tyrant, and reckless. Yeah, it seems like you're really being asked at this time to take into consideration that this control is only going to be as powerful as you wish for it to be if you direct it at yourself, your behaviors, everything you put out into the world, everything that you think and do and feel. Lack of long-term vision, limited success or reward, work without results, and distractions. There's a lot to chew on here. And I don't know if you have a ton of Aries in your chart, I feel like there is, or you may have an Aries in your life that has these qualities. And it could be time to make considerations on breaking free. Very interesting stuff, Cancer. Yeah, focusing those controlling tendencies inward as opposed to outward. It's really the only way. People don't respond well to controlling people. You'll find that people respond in a more agreeable way when you are just a nice, calm, safe person. When you're not trying so hard. It's kind of like the hold on loosely principle, you know, when you're not domineering about your control. It's kind of like a reverse psychology sort of thing. If you're dealing with such issues, I would recommend, there's a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it really focuses on having control of your own thoughts and emotions, and everything else will fall into place. It's not about controlling people. It's about controlling you. And then through being treated with kindness and respect, people will want to do the things that you want them to do because you're a nice person. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Cancer. Next, we move to Leo. All right. Hey there, Leo. What advice do we have for Leo and their transformation? Dark side of wealth, financial failure or loss, fleeting success, lack of stability, lack of resources. Any further advice for Leo's transformation? Honey, I'm sorry, but I've only got so much time in the day. We will take the top, though. Challenge, competition, protection, perseverance, defense, maintaining control. I find it funny that when those cards fell, they did fall into a love deck here. But just a moment. This is more about personal transformation. That's what I preferred, but there is something in there for you. Emotional immaturity, insecurity, disappointment, new ideas, creative blocks. Interesting. So that may pertain to your relationships. Perhaps you're having issues connecting with people. Perhaps your interpersonal relationships are something that you need to focus on. Could also go back to a previous, I don't know if you have that in your chart or not. I can't recall specifically for which sign it was, but it did make mention of making sure you're looking at situations objectively and not placing blame on new people for old situations and old hurt. We have deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. So maybe it's time to move past anything else. for this transformation advice for Leo? Completion, accomplishment, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration of life, and arriving. And the world is literally, I just gotta, I just gotta chill. Like, this is, you know, completing the cycle. That's, you know, if I weren't such a sensitive little shit, I wouldn't be feeling misty for you right now, but I am. This is, you know, this is really, really awesome. Would like to go back to this card. Interesting. I think that ties into that lack mindset that we spoke about earlier. That being, you know, just getting out of that mindset and realizing you're not living that life anymore. It's time to be present in the life that you're currently in and let go. You're no longer there. You're no longer fighting. You no longer need to hold on to those disappointments. There are new ideas. But you need to apply yourself. You need to let go of the past in order to let in the new. Letting go of the past to let in the new. Completion of the cycle. Anything else for Leo? Any further advice for Leo on their transformation? Any further advice for Leo? Any further advice for Leo on the transformation? Excuse me. Avoiding conflict, respecting differences, agreeing to disagree, and diversity. Personal celebration, inner harmony, conflict with others, lack of support, breakdown in communication, home conflict, transition, transience. I don't think all of those descriptors necessarily apply. They may apply for you. You may get something out of them. You may not. Take what applies, leave what doesn't. I think we have more of a personal celebration, inner harmony kind of thing here with the transition. Passion project, anger, scattered energy, delays, and frustration. Delays, frustration, wow. Can't make this shit up, man. Holding off, waiting, panic, slow down. So, yeah, mitigating the stress and the anger from delays is going to be very important. Please don't mind my stomach. It is growling so loud. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but if it is, I do apologize. Living in the past, forgiveness, lacking playfulness, moving forward, leaving home, independence. Yes, that is definitely, yeah, bigly what this one is about for sure. Just leaving the past in the past, accepting that it was all basically a book that you read, except you lived it. But just taking it for what it was, you know, it was insanity, probably. Everyone's life is just, it has a really funny way, and not to quote 90s um 90s pop hits, but life has a really funny way of helping you out. Um that really struck me the other day. I was thinking about song lyrics and just the absolute golden nuggets that are contained within those. And man, that's a good one. Life has a funny way of helping you out. You get so much learning and guidance from the shitty things in life. It really, every cloud certainly does have a silver lining. We also have here for you long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, and investment. Imbalance, excess, extremes, overindulgence, alcoholism, addiction, self-healing, and realignment. Let's focus on the self-healing and realignment here, but let's also not completely disregard the fact that, we can find ourselves imbalanced, especially when if when people come into money quickly, it can be enticing to overspend and really overindulge in the new things that money can now afford us. So it may be good advice for you to, keep that in check for sure. And we also have inspiration, ideas, discovery, limitless potential, free spirit, exploration, excitement, and freedom. Well, that's phenomenal. That is most excellent. I love that for you. That is wildly fantastic. Just keep letting go. Just keep visualizing that, you're in the now. You don't need to think about any situation that happened in your past. You don't need to think about it again. There's no thought police aside from you. You are the master of the domain of your brain. And no, I didn't necessarily intend to quote Seinfeld, but that's not a masturbation reference. You're the master of your domain of your mind. So the more you can put the past, think of it as a library. Your past is a library. You can imagine there's a nice chair in there and there's a sunny window. And if you really need to, you can visit the library. But if you don't need to, it's okay. It's all still there. Nothing's going to happen to that building. It's safe. Your memories are all still there. All of your hurts, all of your traumas, all of the stuff that you overthink all the time that drives you insane. It's still there. But you don't need to revisit it. If you really want to, you can. It's there for you. But there's no reason why you have to. You can just keep all those books nice and neat and closed on their shelves, beautifully displayed in the library that is your life. And you can live in the now. And you can work on focusing your energy that you previously used to focus on the hurts of the past. You can use that energy now to focus on building a better future for yourself. I'm going to leave you with that, Leo. And we will move on to Virgo. And Virgo, I sincerely apologize. I had attempted... Yesterday was a weird YouTube day, I will say. Some days are better than others. Some days videos upload without a hitch. And some other days I have to try and upload them several times before it seems like they will take. Perhaps you weren't meant to see what was in that video. I don't know. It was a lot. Part of me wonders if it would have really resonated with anyone. It was very specific. I can't imagine that was... Now, don't get me wrong, I understand I don't have many viewers at this point. So it probably was directed specifically to one Virgo. But that being said, the video wouldn't upload. So I tried 3 times and it's still kind of stuck and hanging out. So I'm probably going to just have to delete it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, Virgo, do we have any advice for Virgo in regard to their transformation? Any advice for Virgo in regard to their transformation? Let's make it broad so it can apply to many a Virgo and not just the one. You know what, Virgo? I hate to waste your time. I am so sorry, but I need to check what time it is. So 1 moment, please. Okay. You know what, Virgo? It's actually great that I couldn't get anything on you for now. You will be the first of my next set, but I actually need to wrap this up. So, I'm not sure exactly how I'll be doing this yet, but this will be the ending for this transformation set, and we will start with Virgo and work our way down to Pisces. Okay, hopefully everyone has enjoyed so far. I hope this was very helpful. Take care.